Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We have Globiance GBEX token here on our radar in this video. Quick fire updates. There's nothing major. I just wanted to have a quick recap and talk about this price point at the moment that we see in front of us today. We'll go to a couple of other things about this as well. It's a new one for me this year, this particular token and project. And a couple of different reasons really is the interlacing with the Zinfin network or XDC token as well. It's something that I got involved early on with liquidity pools. I was quite interested in this one because I think it was at the time the first exchange that was going to be listed or powered by the Zinfin network. You see here the major contract on the XDC ecosystem is down on this coin market page. And I thought it was really cool because if I cast my mind back to a few years back, I mean, I was into crypto probably from like 2020, albeit that I've got my cryptography, blockchain diploma and a few other things, and I work in the Web3 space. In terms of like investments and things, I'm still quite early. We're still 2022 for me personally, and of course, loads of people have been investing for 10 years, 5 years, whatever it might be. And I always cast my mind back to the historic information and data from like 2017, 2018, where we had the sort of big major cycles up before the bear markets, and then the recent times, the last year or so. And I always imagined, if only I knew kind of like projects when they first started out or as those ecosystems were building. And if you think back or look back to some of those big blockchains out there that have so many projects built on them, and this is how the ecosystem builds, and the price points of those particular originating chains do grow. And for me, Zinfin is one of those right now. I feel like it's still, I still think it's very much under the radar. I don't think it's talked about, of course, in the same light yet as the likes of Stellar and XRP and Ethereum. And in a way, that's kind of understandable because of how old it is and the power that it has, and in general, technologically wise, it is better than those. In some instances, it just doesn't have the rapport yet, or the marketing, or the awareness around it, right? So I'm thinking like, well, XDC for me is something as if like it's almost like 4 or 5 years ago, where we're getting these new developments of blockchain, the new powers, the new transactions per second as a new benchmark, and it's just a question of when, in my opinion, not if, of when this really properly takes off. And we're in a winter and a bear market right now, but can you imagine? And I anticipate over the next few years this being a really exciting ecosystem, and Globiance, of course, being a part of that as one of the top exchanges for the near future. And I love this one. The team were really cool, and they've just added, of course, as we mentioned in the previous video, the staking aspects and things like this. And this is really cool. For example, like all the different pools that are available. We've got like all the way from 30 days to 365. I just put mine on 365 because you get the 10% estimated APR as well. And I just thought, you know what? I'm here for the long run. I'm just going to stick it in there. There's no point. I'm not going to be selling Globiance tokens or anything like this in the near future. And I see the longevity of it. And we've got all of those things going on. We've got the referral codes as well. Now, the referral codes, you might be thinking, well, what's that important? Well, first of all, it's in our description if you want to set up a Globiance account through that. But my main point about referral codes is this is a good building system. It's a lot of things that influencers and channels will be using to obviously obtain rewards, but in the grand scheme of marketing and things, it's a really cool method and way of building that awareness. And as time goes by, more and more people will probably do that. And they'll just encourage that through the channels, especially ones that cover Globiance on a very regular basis. We try to do all the different projects, as many as we can when we can. Of course, that's sometimes hard to balance with work and things like this, but the fact of the matter is, you will find that Globiance is one of these things that is an up-and-coming exchange. It has loads of really cool factors into it, loads of different ramping now in terms of fiat, and it's got the launchpad coming in its fruition as well. Now, there's nothing on there currently on this page, but you can imagine as time goes by and they start building this awareness, building this engagement, they're doing a lot of sponsorship at events and trade events in the crypto blockchain sphere. And this is really exciting, guys, to see. You have to understand that this is new. You could argue that there is a potential risk to this kind of project in the sense like it is new. But if you understand what ecosystem it's on and how it's building, and understand the team and its developments in the near future and the long-term future, you do sit there and you think, well, in my opinion, honestly, like, I think this is like a good effort to get involved and hold this token. It's not financial advice, it's my opinion and based on what I felt and what I did. And we do speak to Oliver, the founder CEO there, quite a bit as well. We're going to try and get an AMA with them very soon. But yeah, right now the price point of GBEX is extremely low, extremely low. So you can gather a lot of momentum in this, and this could be a stumbling point for a lot of people. They're like, well, this is crazy. The price is so low. How's it going to move? But we must mention again, as we've done in previous videos, this is all about as well understanding the aspect of supply and the maximum supply. So 500 trillion, which is a lot of tokens, of course. You can accumulate a lot at these current prices, but we must understand the burn mechanism. So whenever there's like tax added on and a transaction is made on the Globiance network, tokens are burned, and this is how it diminishes. So this total supply here, I'm not sure when this was last updated, but this is now sat at 379 trillion. And if we go to Twitter here, this is a cool account to follow, Verse Kloppy, Borussia Dortmund fan, obviously. And weekly so far, they've been adding in these cool little charts to showcase how much GBEX is being burned weekly. So the numbers are a bit fluctuating throughout each week, but it's really cool to see. And you can see some of this information on the Globiance website, but it's always cool when you try and find some accounts that are really interested or invested in Globiance, because it's where you get a good picture of what's going on. But again here, 18.29 billion tokens are burned in the supply of the week 36. So thanks to these guys for putting this kind of info out there. But it gives you an idea of how this mechanism of diminishing supply can work and be very effective in the future. And as a token holder, I'm sitting there, well, again, as I mentioned, this is a long-term thing for me, and it is going to take time to bring that supply down. But if you start getting big traction through this ecosystem and through the fact of all the different cool things that you can do through Globiance, and it is literally almost like a proper bank, really, because you've got like the options of like IBAN and SWIFT options on there for paying beneficiaries, etc. It's really cool. And I see some really big developments going on with this project. So that's why I'm kind of excited about it, really, because the amount of times where I was like, oh, you look at all these account holders that have like 1 million tokens or like billion tokens or something from something that was, a few years ago, right? And then you see something right now and you think, I can see where this is going. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm holding out. I'm not saying like I'm putting thousands upon thousands of dollars into this. I'll go slow and steady, but I'm really interested in the staking aspect, as I just mentioned, because especially for the 10% on that year one, I mean, there are smaller ones. And I just see some momentum growing with this. I don't know what you guys think out there in terms of this. And I would normally do a chart analysis, but unfortunately it's not available on TradingView yet. All I can show you really is the all-time so far since it launched earlier this year in April. And you can see obviously big launch prices up here, and then it's completely dropped. So there's an opportunity to say that the aspect of influx into this because of launching, etc., has maybe died down now, and we're now at these lower regions. Yes, of course it could go down lower. We don't really have any support or resistance levels to monitor or measure right now, other than like really macro levels on maybe weekly charts. But once this goes on TradingView, we'll look at this in more detail as it goes by. Sometimes it takes a while for tokens to get added to that. But for me, as I said, I think it's a great opportunity to accumulate more and just hold it. Literally just hold them and accumulate when you can, because you can get the big numbers. It's not that like philosophy where you're like, oh, one day it'll be $1 and then I'll have like $2 billion. I mean, that'd be great, but we need to think short term for this first. But I do see a good reaction coming from this. You see the volumes aren't huge either per day. I mean, there's some days where it is quite good, but in general, I think the market that we're in, and Globiance has got a lot of traction behind it in terms of how much it's spending on sponsorship and marketing. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Let us know in the comments what you think about Globiance as a token, as a project. I, for one, am, as I said, really excited about it, and I think there's lots to come. And there's also some really good ambassadors out there right now as well. for Globiance. And I guess you could argue that we are in some capacity an ambassador, because I'm a holder. If anything changes, I'll let you know, of course. But you see here, which is quite cool, the staking program. It's September the 14th. It's growing 100 plus. 100 plus trillion GBEX is now staked. So that's already a fifth, guys. Already a fifth of the tokens are held in some capacity of staking. So that's quite interesting to consider and think about as well. That there's some big holders there, or holders in general, taking this. So I think that's super exciting. And do definitely follow Oliver as well, because you're going to get a lot of information out of him, because it's his project anyway. But I think that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So let's keep an eye on this. We'll do an update on these guys in a few weeks' time. We've got a few other videos to get through today. It's finally a time where I can get some videos done. So don't forget to please also like and subscribe if you have not done so already. But I guess all I have left to say, guys, is thanks for watching this one. We will see you in the next Globiance update video. Take care and goodbye.